I'm kinda hungry. Oh, the 7-Eleven. Perfect. Alright, what could I eat?
いらっしゃいませ。
What? Huh, what was that?
いらっしゃい。いらっしゃいませ。
Are they talking to me?
いらっしゃい
Hello?
ませ。
What does that mean?
いらっしゃい。
いらっしゃいませ。 What's happening?
Hello fellow Gaijins, welcome back to the channel. I went to Japan countless times and I hope I can help you not make the same mistakes I did when I went there for the first few times. The intro you just saw is basically a real experience I had when I went to Japan for the first time because I was really confused about how things work there. So today's video is a speedy overview about things that you should know when you first arrive in Japan. The phrase "irashaimase" is probably the most used phrase in Japan because wherever you enter, if it's a shop or a restaurant, the people that are working there will just make sure that you will hear this from every single employee that is present when you enter their shop. The next thing is, when you want to buy something in Japan, always check 100 yen shops first before buying it in a kombini or anywhere else because 100 yen shops are really 100 yen per item. So whatever you buy in those shops, you will pay $1 for that item. I once bought a kitchen knife in a 100 yen store and I've never had a sharper knife than that kitchen knife. Like I was cutting my sushi and my meat with that knife and I was like, I kid you not, that knife was going through stuff like butter. It was crazy. The items in 100 yen stores are usually really good quality, so definitely check those stores out before buying it anywhere else because you will save so much money just by doing that. Here in the Western world, when you want to go to a public toilet or just any toilet in restaurants or other places, you usually have those two signs for men and women. In Japan, they often don't use these two signs, but they use kanji. The kanji for men and the kanji for women. So knowing the difference between male and female can actually be very detrimental so you don't go into the wrong toilet in Japan. Other two kanji which are very important to know are deguchi and iriguchi. Those two mean exit and entrance. Public toilets in Japan usually don't have any way to dry off your hands after you've done your thing. So always have some sort of towel with you. You can buy one in a 100 yen shop. They're very, very cheap. It's like $1 for a towel and just have it with you in your pocket. And whenever you have some business to do in a public toilet, just dry off your hands with that towel. Japanese toilets are amazing. I think everybody knows that, but they're also very confusing. If you don't know your kanji, you probably will not really know how to use the buttons on a toilet in Japan, which sounds really, really strange and ridiculous, but it's the truth. This is a typical Japanese toilet, and this is how it looks like when you want to use it. Our toilets usually have just one button, and it's just a button to flush the toilet, so it can be really confusing even finding the flush button. Somebody who's new in Japan would probably think that the flush button will probably also be in this conglomerate of random buttons, right? But the button for flushing your toilet is usually not inside this conglomerate, but it's usually just on the side of the toilet like any normal toilet here as well. Other buttons that are kind of important are the bidet, the oshiri, and the yawaraka button. The bidet is basically a bidet, which is the same thing as we have in bidets, so it just washes your whole thing. Then we have the oshiri button, which really washes only your behind, because oshiri just means butt. The yawaraka mode is basically there so you have a more gentle cleanse of your bottom, the mode for weak people. Sometimes these toilets also have a setting for changing the strength of the water. If you see this kanji, it means stronger. If you see this kanji, it means weaker. And on almost every toilet in Japan, there will be this sign, which is basically a button that gives you some music inside your cabin so that other people don't hear your business. Tattoos can be a big no-no in Japan, especially for places where you are partly naked or even naked, like onsens or just spas. Definitely read up on rules for the places you want to bathe at, because they sometimes don't allow people with tattoos to even enter their baths. A question I've seen on the internet a lot is it okay to wear traditional kimonos or just in general traditional Japanese clothing as a foreigner? The answer is yes, it's totally acceptable, nobody will judge you for it. Maybe they will look at you because they think you are pretty, because they generally think foreigners are very beautiful. So definitely think about going to a rental place for yukata or even kimono, which are even more beautiful. and just explore the city in them, because it is very immersive and it's also a very traditional cultural experience that you can only experience in Japan. When you go inside a house that is not a shop or commercial district place, definitely take off your shoes, because it is very rude to leave on your shoes when you enter somebody's house in Japan. A good indicator that can help you to understand where to take off your shoes are those ledges that you can see in most Japanese houses right at the entrance. When you want to pay after eating in a restaurant, usually in Japan it is the case that you will have to pay at the cash register. So if you tell somebody, please come here, I want to pay, they will just look at you in a very strange way, because you have to get up yourself and just go to them in order to pay. A good way to tell if a restaurant has such a system is by looking for a cash register near the exit of the restaurant. Most cash registers in Japan actually don't want you to give the money directly to the employee. They usually have a little thing that you can place the money and the coins on, and then they will take it from there and then give you back your money the exact same way. So they put the change on that thing and shove it to you, and then you can just take your money. The first time I went into a combini, I actually wanted to give my money directly to the employee, and he was just like, should I take it? What should I do? And then he took it directly, but I think he was so uncomfortable doing that because it's just not something you do there. It also happened to me that they just told me like, put it in here, please. Probably the most important point on this list is to always have cash with you whenever you go out in Japan. That's because Japan is a cash-based society. There are countless places to find ATMs in Japan, but I recommend just going to the convenience stores because they usually have very, very reliable and good ATMs that support the foreign-based card. My personal favorite is the 7-Eleven, but usually all of them work. If you go to Japan in summer, think about the heat and the humidity. Don't forget about this because you will just melt there. So definitely always have some water with you and also some changing clothes, because in the first 20 seconds after going out, you'll be drenched. Another very, very important thing is to buy a prepaid train card, which are sometimes called Suica, sometimes they have other names. Depending on the prefecture you buy those cards in, they will have a different name, but most of them will be usable in the entirety of Japan. You can just recharge them whenever you need at machines like these, and before going home you can actually return them at the same machine and you will get your money back. A very bizarre thing that I've noticed when I went to Japan was that whenever something is closing, whatever it is, so it could be just a train station, it could be a shop, a restaurant, whatever it is, when something closes in Japan, they usually have the same song for that. The song I mean is Auld Lang Syne. The song they play is Auld Lang Syne, and this is what it sounds like. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.